Alright, so it is Friday, so that means a couple things. That means it's the weekend, and it means we're going to be playing a classic. Now, this is MX Unleashed, not to be confused with MX vs. ATV Unleashed. Now, I know a lot of you already know that, but I'm sure there's a couple people that might be watching that'll say, this is MX vs. ATV Unleashed. No, it's MX Unleashed. It was for the original OG Xbox. This was the first one. I mean, they don't really count it in the series because their series is based off of bikes and quads, like going head to head. That's their thing. So this one kind of gets left out when it comes to the MX vs. ATV series, but it's really kind of what started it all. I mean, the way the game plays, the physics and mechanics of this game are so similar to Unleashed. I actually think now I don't really notice it so much because I haven't played this game in 10 years probably. No joke. I bet I haven't played this game in 10 years, which is why we kind of suffered. The recording got a little weird. Sometimes you'll see something pop across the top of the screen. Maybe I could have fixed it, but I personally just am too lazy and couldn't figure it out. So that might pop in occasionally. It might be a little annoying. I'm sorry. We're going to do a couple laps on this track. I don't even remember what it's called. Then we're going to go do a couple laps from another track and then 2 laps from a different one. So there'll be 3 tracks in this video, all supercross. If you want to see more during the classic series, because we'll probably return to this, we can do some nationals, some free rides, stuff like that. But for today, we're just doing some supercross using the YZ450 as well as the RM250. Now, something I kind of forgot, because like I said, it had been, I bet it's been 10 years or more or longer since I played this game. I forgot that they had the actual manufacturer bikes in this one. Like, I don't know why, I just didn't realize that. I don't know, they had some. They have KTM, I know, they had like factory connection graphics, but there was no just, I don't think there was an actual just CR250 or anything like that, because I think the game came out in like 2003 or 4 or something like that, so 2-strokes were still a thing. I don't even know if there was Kawasaki. I don't know, guys. A lot of you probably know because you're, not that I'm not as big a fan as anybody of this game, but I haven't played this game in a decade, so I don't remember. I know they had the RM250, which is what we used for the next 2 races, and then you know, I never noticed that. When we were ghost racing, our ghost is on the 2-stroke. Huh. Odd. That's another thing people really, really want is ghost racing back in MX vs. ATV. Like, I think that needs to happen. It's something cool, and it's something that can kind of push you. You know, a lot of people like grinding out hot laps after hot lap after hot lap after hot lap. It just helps you to push a little harder when you know you have to try to beat something. When you're just racing against the clock and you can't see something, it makes it more difficult. So ghost racing would be a nice addition back into the game. I don't know if MX vs. ATV All Out is going to have it. It'd be cool, but, you know, I don't know. I really don't know. I kind of doubt it right offhand, but maybe eventually it'll be something that we get back. But the main thing is this is a classic. This was one of the most requested games. I think Freakstyle last weekend was one of the bigger ones as well. Superfly, which is the first one we did, but this is probably the next most requested, and then possibly Motocross Madness 2, which we will be playing Motocross Madness 2. I have my original, hardcore original PC copy. I don't know why, don't ask me why I still have it, but we will be playing that next, as well as there's a whole bunch of other ones. But as far as like big ones that people really wanted to see right now, this was one of them. So for all of you, here you go. We played MX Unleashed, and I don't know, I think I started saying this at the beginning. I thought it felt different than MX vs. ATV Unleashed. And it does feel different. I think it feels a little more... The way the game plays, the physics of the game are practically the same. But I do remember on the original Xbox with Unleashed, MX Unleashed and MX vs. ATV Unleashed, I remember I started playing this game and I was using the D-pad, okay? I was using the D-pad to preload and, you know, control the bike and everything. And I remember on the D-pad, it was so much easier to get like a partial preload. Otherwise, with the analog stick, I don't know why, it was really hard for me to get like a partial preload or a full preload. It was always a full preload. So I remember I was pretty good at this game. I played it a lot, like against my friends and stuff like that, and this was my favorite one. And then when MX vs. ATV Unleashed came out, I wasn't as good or as comfortable because the D-pad didn't really work like that. It didn't work like it did in this game, and I was super bummed out, and I kind of had to learn to play with the thumbsticks, which really doesn't matter because now looking at where we are in the future of motocross games, it would have been something you had to get used to eventually. It was just such a bummer because I was so comfortable with the preload, the way the preload worked on the D-pad. So yeah, I don't know. That was something. And then Jackson, I kept thinking it was Jacksonville, but Jackson, I believe, was a track that I grinded out over and over and over again in this game. And I played it, but I didn't throw it on this video. I don't know why I didn't. I just didn't. But I remember there was that one section where there was back-to-back section of whoops, and then coming out of the last section of whoops, there was like a little roller there. And typically, you'd come out of the whoops and then kind of go over the roller. But if you got a good run and a really good preload, you could actually hop out of the whoops over that last roller to cut your lap time down, which was so cool. And I don't know why, that's just one of those stupid little things that's stuck in my mind that, you know, I never forgot. And this kind of, I mean, I had played, not a lot, but I played some moto games before this, but I never was like hardcore into it. I think Supercross 2000 on the Nintendo 64 or Motocross Mania or Motocross Madness 2, I had played some like on PC and then, like I said, on the 64, but I didn't put like big hours into it. Superfly and this game for the original Xbox was when I got super hardcore into motocross games, like super hardcore. I was riding already. I don't know how old I would have been. I didn't start riding, real life riding, until I was probably almost 10. I wasn't like 3 years old, you know, riding bikes like kids are nowadays, 5 years old, whatever it is. I just wasn't like that, and I didn't have brand new expensive bikes. I didn't actually get my first brand new bike until I was 17, and I paid for that myself. Worked my butt off all summer and spent it on that. You know, kids in high school like to spend it on cars or trucks or whatever for going to school. I spent it on a bike. I spent it on a brand new bike. I bought a brand new 2005, I think. 2005 CRF 250, and I love that bike. It ran more like a two-stroke kind of. It didn't have as much engine braking. I love that bike. One of my favorite ones ever. But as far as getting back to moto gaming, I just didn't. I think it was this game and Superfly that got me hardcore into it. This game especially. It was so ahead of its time, it felt like. It was, I mean, before we had Superfly, which was great, but man, the way this game played and controlled was like so ahead of its time. It was just so much better than everything else, and it had so much to offer. And you know, the fact that it had the actual manufacturer bikes in it instead of like nowadays where it's a DLC. Well, DLC wasn't really a thing back then. It just wasn't. So I don't know. This is gonna go down as one of my favorites. I know a lot of people might complain, but it's not. I don't know if it is my absolute favorite. It would have been, but I'm still kind of sticking with Reflex. I'm gonna be in that crowd. I'm not gonna be in that crowd of Reflex for life, and every game from now on has to control just like Reflex. Like, I'm not gonna be like that guy. I'm not gonna be in that cult. But oh, calm down. Whoa, calm down. If you're that Reflex guy, calm down. I'm not making fun of you. Just making a joke. But anyways, it was a great game. And people keep saying that the new games need to go back to these physics and everything. I say this a lot. To each their own. To each their own. If you believe that, I'm not arguing with you. It's your opinion. I don't think so. I think these were great physics, a great game engine, mechanics, everything for when it came out. Not even for just when it came out, for years after that. But I don't know. I don't know why with motocross games. Maybe it's like that with car racing games too. People are like that. I don't think we should go backwards. Even if you're not happy with where they're at now, I still think it's progressing forwards. I mean, sometimes, what do they say? 1 step forward, 3 steps back. I mean, sometimes that's just the way it works. But great game in its own right. One of my favorites. Probably, possibly my second favorite of all time. And maybe just because of the good memories it brings back of me when I was a kid playing with my friends. You know, talking smack. You know, now we got the internet, but back in the day, it used to just be talking smack, System Link, split screen, all that good stuff. Tell me some of you remember System Link. Playing Halo? Yeah? Anybody? Everybody brings an Xbox over and System Link throughout the house and get like 16 friends together and 4 Xboxes? Yeah? Come on, somebody remembers that. Halo 2? Well, that's what we used to do on top of this, but I really only had a couple friends that did moto gaming besides me. I don't know, only had a couple friends that rode with me too, and they didn't ride as serious. I don't know if serious, but just as much. I was more consistent with my riding, I guess. But yeah, this is MX Unleashed. Let me know down in the comments what you would like to see for the next video. I think I already kind of know what I want to do. I'd still like to see your opinions because I will get to them. But I think I know what I want to do. One other person has mentioned it as well. I didn't know if anyone would actually know about it. But I already should have the next video planned out. If you enjoy this series and want to see it continue, make sure to leave a like. I really do appreciate it. And I guess that's really all I gotta say. We're gonna finish this lap against this ghost, and then that will wrap up the video. But you guys and girls are absolutely amazing. Thank you for all the support on the channel, and until the next video, take it easy.